psychedelics?
They can give people glimpses. There's no doubt about that.
And I mean it as a supplement, or for the purposes of getting a deeper realization or awakening.
It's a dangerous subject in Australia because psychedelics are illegal here. But psychedelics have been used for thousands of years in India by the different sadhus and that to actually open their minds to experience different states of being. I don't have a favour for them, but I don't have a disfavour for them. What they do is they actively force the mind out of the picture. So the mind doesn't get to surrender, it gets to be knocked out. And so when the psychedelic wears off, the mind comes back, usually with a greater defence system against being knocked out like that again. So the next time a person wants to take that particular drug, they need to take more to get the same effect, because the mind's gone into a defensive mode, a survival mode in fact, to protect itself from being wiped out. Because if the mind is wiped out, the survival of the body's at risk. The only thing that really works is unconditional surrender, and not with the aid of drugs, but through will. The willingness to actually let go, the willingness to accept, the willingness to die. And that takes a lot of practice because the mind is actually a survival mechanism. It's not going to go along with that. The only way you can develop a mind that is in a state of surrender is through practice. And drugs don't give you the practice because the drugs are actually actively knocking the mind out rather than the mind surrendering. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Just I've listened to quite a lot of audio over the subject. I've had some time on my hands, and I was just curious.
Okay, I haven't met anyone yet who's woken up and stayed awake as a result of drugs. I have met a lot of people who have woken up as a result of spiritual practice, which is basically the practice of surrender. And I looked at that a long time ago and came up with the answer I've just given you, that the mind is forced down rather than surrendered, so it comes back with a vengeance. It doesn't learn what it needs to learn, which is unconditional surrender.